Oh, gotta get it all set up. Oh, what do I press? There you go. Do that. Lovely. Right. Hello again, fight fans. I hope you're all well. It's Jordan here from the Ultimate Fighting Podcast. I'm all on my own today. It's a shame. Max is very busy, doing busy things. But I'm here. You have to listen to my lucid tones for the next half an hour to an hour. We'll see how it goes. Basically, just going to talk about what I think about the events of 2 weekends ago, last weekend, and what we got going forward. It's very exciting, looking very exciting going forward. Some fights coming up. UFC 262 is all looking very exciting. The potential return of Usman already June 12th on the Adesanya undercard. Maybe not 100%. Usman, Covington, and Conor McGregor, and all the rest of it. But first of all, I want to talk about the Dominic Reyes versus Jiri Prochazka. I'm not very good at names. First of all, props to Jiri. Absolutely beautiful performance, and what a spinning elbow knockout. Absolutely fantastic. Don't want to take away from him. Do I think he should get a title shot now? I still think it's a bit early for him. I think he should have another fight or two. But Yan has called him out, saying, yep, let's do it. But I think Yan's going to be obviously fighting Teixeira, but I think Yan will win that fight. So in time, it looks like Jiri will be facing Yan for the light heavyweight title. But aside from that, I want to talk about Dominic Reyes. It's annoying because he was 12-0. He's now 12-3. 3 fights, 3 losses. Arguably, in my opinion, he beat John Jones. If you review the fight, Dominic Reyes took the first 2, and John Jones took the last 2. It's that third round, which is the grey area. It went to John Jones, but when you look at it, I just don't understand how. I think Reyes had it all. He knocked John Jones down a few times in the fight. It's upsetting, that fight. But aside from that, I thought he would have beaten Jan Blachowicz, but he literally got his face filled in and got put on his ass. 2 fights lost on the bounce, not very good. To have a title shot against John Jones and then to be immediately given another title shot in your next fight against someone else is almost unheard of. But he got it. Unfortunately, he lost them both. Then we get this opportunity against Prochazka, and again given an opportunity to shine, and he didn't. It wasn't just he fought badly in the last 2 fights. He was not good. He was not good. Excuse me. He was average at best. And the John Jones fight, he was insane. But now looking at him, I can't help but thinking, what's happened? You're really hesitant. It's like you don't want to engage. You don't want to hit someone. You don't want to hurt them. It's just, you're just there and you're getting destroyed. Literally destroyed. For me, looking at him, I don't believe his power is there at light heavyweight. I could see him potentially dropping a middleweight. I mean, at the end of the day, light heavyweight ain't going very well. It's going to go one or two ways. You make the jump and go to heavyweight, but you're looking at putting on a lot of weight, and you're not doing good at light heavyweight, clearly. Well, you were, but now you're not. So I think cutting the weight, I could see Reyes Till. Reyes Adesanya, Reyes Vettori, Reyes versus Kevin Holland. It could be a really good place for him. It's just whether he does it. But I think that's what you got to do. Or take a break and really sit back and think, is this what I want? And come back strong. Come back really, really strong. Anyway, in my opinion, Dominic Reyes should cut and go down to middleweight. I think he'll be better there. I think he'll be knocking people out. I think he'll be stronger there. But, what can you do? Unfortunately, congratulations to Jiri. Wish him all the luck in his next fight, whether it be a title fight or not. I do believe he is a future champion. I don't know if he beats Yan. I don't know how long Jan is going to be champion either, though. Jan is old, he's 38, probably going on 39. You've got potentially, I don't think he'll ever go up to heavyweight because he's at that age now. To put on all the weight would be a little bit tricky. Do I see Jan retiring soon? Not anytime soon, but I do see him being beaten by someone, whether that be Jiri or the next guy. The problem is in any division, especially the light heavyweight and the heavyweight division, there'll always be someone stronger. There will be someone stronger than Francis Ngannou. That's a fact. There will be. We just haven't found them yet. I don't think Ngannou has a technical ability to hold on to the heavyweight title for a long period of time. But we'll get on to that. Speaking of getting on to things, we'll move on to our next topic, UFC 261. What a fantastic night. You know, I was under the impression Valentina Shevchenko was always going to win in my eyes, and she did. But I don't think she was going to, I thought it was going to go to decision. She really did dominated, and I was so impressed with her performance, and she really has put herself in the limelight to be, you know, the one of the women's GOATs. Do I think we're going to see a Nunes versus Shevchenko 3? No. Dana White himself has said he's not that interested in that fight. I'll tell you why we shouldn't get that fight. It's because Nunes would win. Fact. It's not because she's won the last two fights. It's that Nunes is just that much better than everyone else. Shevchenko is an amazing fighter, no two ways about it. But I don't believe she could go up and fight Nunes, or Nunes come down and win. Anyway, I did believe Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas would have gone on for a little bit longer. I did actually see that go in the distance, and an absolute war between the two girls, and I saw Weili Zhang taking it. And so I'll be honest with you, I didn't see any titles getting lost today. But Rose, fair fucking play. Like, Jesus, what a head kick. That just kind of floated out of nowhere. Didn't even look that powerful. It just kind of floated, and then that was it. Was it an early stoppage? No. Absolutely not. I think if you're saying that was an early stoppage, you're deluded, because she was knocked out, clean out. I think she woke up quickly. Rose jumped on her and started pounding her in the head. The referee would have done what any referee would have done in that position and stopped there and called the fight. I think the referee made the right decision, 100%. I don't see how you can say that was an early stoppage. I mean, if the ref didn't stop that fight there, she would have kept hitting her in the head, and there was no way Weili Zhang was coming out of that. What do we do next with Rose Namajunas? I see a Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang 2. I think that would be a really good fight. But I think Rose would come out on top again. But I do think we need to see that fight again to hopefully see these two incredible fighters in the strawweight division just go nuts at each other. Instead of it being a round one knockout in the first minute and a half. But then we move on to Kamaru Usman. Oh, wow. I think there's no two ways about it. He's one of the GOATs. He's put himself into that category. I'm going to be honest. I was going to put money on the fact that Usman was going to go into this, utilise a jab, take him down. When he took him down in the first round, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's exactly how this is going to go. Keep on feet for a little bit, leg kicks, jab, take him down. 5 rounds, easy decision victory. Was I expecting the absolute beautiful right hand to knock Jorge Masvidal out for the first time since 2008? No, I was not. I really, really wasn't. Usman, I think he almost fainted the takedown, and he battered Jorge's arm out the way, and then he followed up with that right hand, and he didn't just clip him and put him on the floor. He knocked him out. Jorge was asking, what happened? What happened? What happened was, mate, is you got schooled. You got fucking smashed, right? And I was talking to Max a few weeks back saying, what happens to Masvidal now? What do you do with him? I said it. I will be thoroughly surprised and happy, but thoroughly surprised if he fights in the UFC again. He's just started up his own fighting thing. What was it? Game Bred Fighting? Something like, I can't remember what it's called. He started up his own thing. Go focus on that. Go do that. Because for Jorge now, the only fights I see happening is if Diaz beats Leon, you could tee them up, but then does Diaz get a title shot? Most likely, Nate Diaz will get the title shot. I would love to see Jorge versus Diaz. I'd also love to see Jorge versus the other Diaz, which we're going to get onto. But if I was Masvidal, I'd be like, look, I've done this for fucking 20 years. I'm going to now go do my own thing. I know it's probably not that easy, you're contracted, but let's just say Masvidal goes on a 3-4 fight winning streak, and in that time Usman is still champion and has beaten everyone else in the division. What's the point in having a Masvidal versus Usman 3? I mean, he beat him twice. What's the third fight going to do? There's nothing. I don't see anything that Masvidal can do different that would get him the win over Usman. But then again, you could argue, and Usman's manager said it himself, there's talks. He reckons Vettori will beat Adesanya. I'm a little bit worried about that fight, I'm not going to lie. But we'll get on to that. And Usman could go up to middleweight and fight for the middleweight title against Vettori if he wins. What a fight that'd be to start with. If that happens, I see Masvidal then trying to go for the title again. But if that doesn't happen, I think Masvidal should just go off and do his own thing. So obviously, Adesanya versus Vettori has been confirmed. I'm worried about this fight for Adesanya. I really am. There's no two ways about it. Adesanya is one of the best fighters we've seen in a long, long time. Incredible power for a middleweight. But after that fight with Jan Blachowicz, I think he has exposed a chink in his armour that he really can't wrestle. Granted, the main reason he lost to Jan was Jan's weight. With Jan laying on top of Adesanya just couldn't get him off him. Could Adesanya get Vettori off him? Yes, probably. I know Adesanya's won this fight once before. This happened before, and I know he won. He won a decision. But both fighters have come a long way. I don't want Adesanya to lose, and I don't think he will. I think he will keep this on the feet as best as he can. He'll utilise his reach and get the W, and I really hope he does. So, I mean, because Usman's already said he'll never go up and fight Adesanya. They're really good mates, the two of them. I don't know if Usman's power will translate into middleweight. Hopefully it does, but you never know. We could see some amazing Usman fights in middleweight. Usman versus Till and all the rest of it. But with that being said, incredible knockout. I'm looking forward to Usman's next fight. Looking like he said he wants to fight June 12th, like I said, against Michael Chiesa. Sorry, I can't remember how to say his name. I want to see Usman Covington too, personally. I do agree Covington needs to do more. He's been really inactive. But, it's a part of the sport. He's the number one contender, so why should he have to fight loads to get another title shot? It'll be interesting to see how that goes down. Anyway, moving on. I wanted to talk about, obviously we know Nate Diaz is returning against Leon Edwards. Tough fight to call. It really is. I think Diaz is going to take it. I think he'll win that fight. But I want to talk about the return of Nick Diaz. Both fighters are coming back since the legalization of marijuana in the UFC, which makes sense. The two of them refuse to stop because, why should they? They're not taking an enhancement drug. Who do I want to see Nick fight? I want to see Nick Diaz fight Masvidal. Like I said, I think that would be an incredible fight. I think Nick will be at welterweight instead of middleweight. I think that's the right decision for him. I think if Nate Diaz loses, I think he will fight Leon Edwards, but then could Leon Edwards be in for a title shot? We never fucking know. There's so many fights you could line up at welterweight for Nick Diaz, so that would be incredible. If you said to me, do you think Nick Diaz would ever return? If you said that to me 2-3 months ago, I would have said, no way. He's not returning to the UFC. He's done. So, I'm happy I'm so happy he's returning. Over the moon, actually. I think hopefully he hasn't lost it. He is a bit on the older side, as well as his younger brother. Whoops. So, I think if he loses, he'll call it a day. If he wins, I think he'll continue for another fight or two. Excuse me. I'm just thinking, would we ever get a chance to see Nate versus Nick? I think that'd be an awesome fight. Because I know it's a different sport, but in boxing we were going to see the Klitschko brothers go head to head, but that never happened. So I would like to see that fight. Whether it happens is a different story. But there's been some beef on Twitter between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou. It's getting heated up at the moment. Jon Jones is getting all lippy. Francis is just kind of keeping it all very much of a much, keeping himself to himself. That fight is an interesting fight for me, and I'm going to hand on heart say after 15 years, I think Jon Jones is losing it. He's become a decision fighter. He barely beat Dominic Reyes. And then, he jumps up to heavyweight, and I don't think his power is going to be there. I don't think he's going to have that much power at heavyweight. Then again, he's got his wrestling, but is he going to be able to deal with someone like Francis Ngannou, pushing him around and being? Because I don't think Jon Jones is going to be that strong at heavyweight. Granted, he's going to be strong 100%, but I don't think he's going to be Francis Ngannou type strong. I think Ngannou's going to clip him. Who cares if he's a one-trick pony? Who cares? If that one trick works, then fucking do it. When you're fixing a car, when your car runs out of fuel, the one trick is to put fucking fuel in it. And if that trick works, do it. Do it 100 times. If it works, don't change it. Don't go, I've knocked out 100 people with an overhand right. I should probably start switching it up. Who cares? You're getting your payday. People are loving it because they're seeing a knockout. I don't care how he knocks him out. He's going to knock him out. Jon Jones will not last 2 rounds with Francis Ngannou. I thought Miocic was going to dominate Ngannou that second fight. Other way. Different story. Granted, he was a lot lighter. But other than that, Ngannou said, once I've dealt with Jon Jones, he's going to go after Tyson Fury in boxing. I've said for a long time, I think it's a terrible idea, Tyson Fury coming over to the UFC if he ever does it. I know he was talking about it many moons ago. The problem is the Deontay Wilder fight is a really good fight. Let's put that fight into UFC. You're both throwing your jab. You're having a good fight. Getting towards the end of the fight, you get put on your ass, knocked out. Right? You don't get 10 seconds to get back up. There's none of that. You don't have 10 seconds to get back up and go, yeah, let's go. It's, oh shit, you're on the floor. I'm now going to jump on you and pound your head into the canvas until that ref stops me. So, I don't see Tyson Fury. It's not like Tyson Fury has never been knocked out, never been knocked down. He has been, loads of times. I think when you get knocked down in the UFC, you got to get back up like that. Otherwise, that's your fight done. Otherwise, your opponent's jumping on top of you, hitting you in the head a few times, and the ref's pulling them off. I don't think Tyson Fury may have been punched in the head by the best. He's not been kicked in the head by the best. Picked up, slammed on the floor, choked, armbar, you name it. No, he's never had that. And I think in a UFC octagon, he would be terrible. But let's reverse it. Tyson Fury is one of the best boxers of all time, if not the best. I think better than Mike Tyson in his prime. Probably a dodgy thing to say, but I think I'm a fanboy of Tyson Fury, to be quite honest with you. It's an interesting fight, Tyson versus Ngannou. Ngannou, you can't say he has no boxing experience because he used to box, is where he wanted to start off. That's what he wanted to do. He didn't actually want to go into the UFC. He wanted to be a boxer. But you look at Tyson Fury, for me, it doesn't matter how much power you have, he will still get up. I don't think Francis Ngannou is they're probably on the same level as Deontay Wilder. I think if Tyson Fury can face a punch and get back up from Deontay Wilder, he can from Francis Ngannou. Like I said, you get 10 seconds to get back up. So, excuse me. I think Tyson Fury in a boxing ring picks him apart. Keeps him he's 6'9" for fuck's sake. Keep him at a distance, utilise your jab, and as soon as he starts getting tired, because obviously it's a lot longer in boxing, you'll probably be looking at 12 rounds. 12 rounds, 10 rounds? Yeah, 12 rounds. Probably, still 3-minute rounds. Still a hell of a long time. You start coming to that 11th round, if Ngannou makes it that far, and that's it. I don't see Ngannou lasting that long in the ring with Tyson Fury. And then Tyson Fury said about Anthony Joshua, nothing is set in stone yet, unfortunately. It needs to be. We need a date and we need a venue. I know they're both working on it. It looks like it will happen. Tyson Fury even said if Anthony Joshua goes over 3 rounds with him, he'll quit. Obviously, I don't think he would do that if given the opportunity, when given the opportunity. Do I think Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury? I don't even think Anthony Joshua beats Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua is a good boxer. He's a very good technical boxer. But is he on the level of Tyson Fury? No way. I even Deontay Wilder isn't that technical, but he's still. I don't see Anthony Joshua beating Deontay Wilder at all. I see hopefully this fight going, and then pretty much Tyson Fury will have the majority of the major belts in the heavyweight division, and he'll be a target. The problem you got is we're not sure if there'll be a third fight between him and Wilder. I don't think there will be now. I see Tyson walking away after the Anthony Joshua fight, seeing beating Anthony Joshua, quitting on a high, but as we saw, he even said himself he has to keep himself active due to his mental illnesses. He needs to keep going. He needs to do something, otherwise he'll fall into a rut. I do see him staying in sport, and to be honest, I do see him coming over to the UFC. Whether he'll do well is a different story. I hope he does, because I'm a big fan, but it's tough. It's tough for him. When he beats Anthony Joshua, if and when, what does he do next? Do you just wait for the next big thing? Does Dillian White get a shot? I think he destroys Dillian White. Do you? I just don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens to him after. I know he was obviously dabbling in WWE for a time being, but that's not a career for him. He needs to be in proper. I'm not hating on the WWE. It's a very entertaining sport. It's a very electrifying sport, and it's why it may be fake. It's still incredibly tough on your body, if not one of the toughest sports on the body. It's thrown through tables. Granted, the tables are designed to break, but it will still hurt. Being dropped on your head, whether it be in a special way, still hurts. So, but like I said, I think Tyson needs to be in somewhere where he can train regularly, train to beat the best. So it'd be interesting to see what comes after that. Moving on swiftly, fucking cracking for it in this podcast. This podcast is basically about my opinion at the moment. What we're planning on doing, I'll sidetrack. Basically, we've got the Instagram account, 78 followers strong, really quickly. Thank you so much for that. If you haven't already, go check out the Instagram at the Ultimate Fighting Podcast. We're now available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, YouTube. We're everywhere at the moment. One place we're not at the moment is Apple Podcasts. Working out how to get there, but we're everywhere else. So wherever you're listening, hi, this is the Ultimate Fighting Podcast. I'm normally joined with someone, but today I'm not. Normally my co-host Max, but he's busy at the moment. So it will be me. I have got a guest lined up. A good friend of mine I've been speaking to a lot recently. The Fight Bubble, at the Fight Bubble on Instagram. Go check him out. Really interesting posts. Really good guy. Very opinionated. Go check him out. Yeah. So he'll be coming on the podcast at some point. He's also a very busy man. Trying to get all these things tied up, and hopefully in the future, maybe if this takes off, we could get some real fighters on here. That would be the dream. I'd love to get someone like Michael Bisping on the show. How incredible that would be. So yeah, like I said, there's an email you can email at, it's ufpquestions with an s at gmail.com. Email in your questions or things you want to ask us. What do you think about this fight? What do you think about this, that, or this is what I think, or what do you guys think? Just email it in, let us know, or DM us on Instagram. And anyway, moving on, we're on to Jake Paul. I wanted to discuss Jake and Logan Paul, actually. Logan Paul's bout with Floyd Mayweather has been confirmed for sometime in June. I think June, July, I can't remember. I said at the start, this fight is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I know why Floyd's doing it. Money, not like he needs it, but money, more fame. Not like he needs any of that, but it is what it is. Logan, double the size, half the age. Good and very strong. A very strong boxer. He could be incredible reach, but we're not talking Conor McGregor, someone who has hardly any experience in boxing and anything could happen. We're talking about 50-0, arguably 51-0. Greatest of all time, Floyd Mayweather Jr. The man is so smart, so technically gifted, so strong, so powerful, so quick. I still think at 70 years old, he beats Logan Paul. At 80 years old, he could probably beat Logan Paul. I think this fight's ridiculous. I'm still going to watch it, 100%. But, I just don't get it. I'm looking forward to it because if Logan Paul gets a lucky shot, puts Mayweather on his ass, and the fight gets stopped, you're going to break the internet. You're going to break the internet. How incredible that would be. It scares me to think what would actually happen if that goes ahead, if he does that. I do think it'll be one of the most sold pay-per-views of all time. It'll be so well, sold. Because even people that don't like boxing, who just like like Logan Paul, they will buy into it. And even like the Conor McGregor versus Khabib fight, people who weren't even fight fans bought into that fight because of what happened, the history, and the build up to that fight. But the thing about Jake Paul now, beating Ben Askren, you know what? It was gonna happen. You're fighting a retired UFC wrestler, Olympic wrestler, who's been out of the game and just had a hip replacement. I think it's what a ridiculous fight. What an absolutely ridiculous fight. Even Ben Askren admitted he took the paycheck. He just did it for the paycheck. And you know what? That fight's rigged. It was rigged. There's no two ways about it. The fight was set up. Ben Askren was told and paid to let Jake Paul win. And it didn't even make it believable. Ben Askren barely even tried. It was a simple 1-2 that put him down. And you know what? It's so unfortunate because Ben didn't even fucking try. And it's so annoying because he's taken punches from the best of the best and still withstanded and kept going. I just think, what a pathetic performance. But does he care? No. He's got 500 grand plus pay-per-views. I think he got some of the pay-per-views, but even so, he got 500 grand. Thanks very much. And you were in there for what? Not even 3 minutes? I don't even know. But what's next for Jake Paul? He's calling out every Tom, Dick and Harry, and it's getting on my tits. Vittori's called him out, and the list just goes on. Both Diaz's and fucking everyone. Literally everyone. But the person he should fight is Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury fucking annihilates Jake Paul. 100% annihilates him. So Jake Paul won't take the fight. He should fight Dillian Danis. He won't take the fight because he knows he will fucking lose. See, I don't like Jake Paul, but I don't like him because he generally thinks he's a good boxer when he's not. It's not, the attitude. What people need to understand is that the attitude he's got and the mannerisms and the things he does, even he said himself, it's a fucking act. It's an act. It's not him. It's not who he is. It's an act. And I can see straight through it. And most UFC fighters can. He was calling out Kamaru Usman. Usman said, no, because I don't play fight. Usman would destroy him. But for fuck's sake, stop calling out MMA fighters. Call out boxers. Fight Tommy Fury, a boxer. You know what? If you beat him, you've actually given yourself a credible name. into your portfolio. The people you beat are nobodies. Fight Tommy Fury. Don't fight an MMA fight. He said he wants to fight Nate Diaz, beat him to then line up Conor McGregor. You think beating a boxer, a YouTuber, a basketball player, a wrestler, and then another fighter who's been out of the game for fucking ages, who you probably wouldn't beat anyway because Nate Diaz is harder than nails, and you then get a shot at Conor McGregor? I don't ever see him fighting Conor McGregor. Even Conor McGregor said he's a confused little kid. Jake Paul will never get the chance to fight McGregor. Because if McGregor fights Poirier and loses, he will quit 100%. He will retire from the fight game, and that will be it. I know what Jake wants. He wants the press conferences with Conor McGregor. He wants Conor McGregor's trash talk, but he ain't gonna get it. If Conor McGregor loses Poirier, he retires. If he goes on to beat Poirier, which I really hope he will, he said he'll go up to 170, and then he'll have a career at welterweight, or he'll go on for the lightweight title. He ain't interested in boxing Jake Paul. I'm sorry, but that fight is not happening. Jake, if you want to become... He's saying, when Floyd Mayweather was 3 fights into his career, he was getting paid like $7,000. But if Floyd Mayweather was already a well-known person with 20 million followers on YouTube, then yeah, he probably would have got paid the big bucks. But he wasn't. He was a nobody that took himself from nothing to the top in boxing. You pretty much got started. If it was me, I couldn't just walk to mainline a pay-per-view event, or co-main a main event, and then be on the undercard for a Mike Tyson fight, and then do a main event. I couldn't do it. You have to be a name to be able to do them things, and he's a name, so that's how he did it. And he already has financial backing in himself. So you know what? Good luck to him. If he wants to take this seriously, you got to start fighting some boxers. So fight Tommy Fury. Yeah, I could rant on for ages about Jake Paul, but I'm not going to. I'm going to call it an end to the podcast there. Not very long one today, unfortunately. There'll be one next week. We got UFC this weekend. Nothing interesting as TJ Dillashaw was unfortunately out of his fight, which is really unfortunate. Massive cut above his right eye. It's a shame because I think Dillashaw's return is a good thing. I think he'll be really good. I don't actually see him beating Sandhagen. I think Sandhagen's brilliant. So yeah, it's interesting one going forward. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Looking forward to UFC 262. We'll discuss that next week. And with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to go follow, subscribe, do all the good things, and I'll see you all in the next one.